my girlfriend and I call it quits. I didn't think I was gonna do this video in this batch, but I might as well cover it. She's from Colombia. She still lives in Vegas. The signs were already there from a few months ago, and I made a point of documenting some of this on my channel because hey, I'm 49, man. You know, life happens, right? People are gonna ask me, aren't you married? Don't you have kids? Are you a family man? Guess what? That life was not meant for me. I've already lived with three of my ex-girlfriends in the past when I was in California, like from back to back to back to back, and it was a horrible idea. All of them are the same. It all ends up the same. One looks maybe a little bit better. The other one has a better body. One was a single mom, right? Nothing wrong with any of those things and elements and factors. Don't get me wrong. Don't come at me, women. This is from a, you got to let a man speak, right? You got to let a man speak. Women always, like, shun men from speaking the truth. But a man's truth is the truth. I'm giving you an honest opinion, and I don't really care what you think of me. I got to get the message out to my brothers. And this is firsthand right here. So she's a great girl, man. Like, I think she's just confused, like most. Go figure. And she just sounds just like my ex-girlfriend. Like, after a while, when you live this long, 4 decades, right? You have nearly 5 now, but let's just say at age 20, you count that, right? 3 decades of being with women and seeing how they are. They all eventually have the same pattern. It's the same stuff, same-ish, different day, different, body type and feel and whatnot. But let me not get graphic here. But we met accidentally through a dating app on Tinder, met at MGM, and September 2023 is when we jumped into a full-blown dating kind of a scene, and we went in our cycles, right? I think she was still dating while she was with me, and of course I was as well. And but it got really serious during the holidays, 2023. We spent Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the holidays. In 2024, we did all of that right together, the whole summer, 2 summers with her. Our total time together was about 1.5 years. Again, I've done videos on all of this. You can find it on my channel. So I'm not going to try to throw the B-rolls and A-rolls. I don't have time for that because I've done it. I don't want to beat this to the bone and say the obvious. There's many videos of me and my Colombian girlfriend. Okay, when we met, she was 27 and I was 47. So we have a significant age difference, but I always date young. I can date younger women. Part of it is because I've maintained myself in a certain way. I live my lifestyle that shows up in how I look, how I carry myself. If you've seen my videos, there's no way that I move like a typical 50-year-old, let's just say. I have all the skill sets and tool sets that enable me to move and function like a 20-something-year-old. It's not no secret. It's on my channel. I'm not even showing off. I'm not bragging. It's the fact. These are the facts, and I have proof. So this is why I'm doing this video. So if all you older women are shaming me, that's a you problem. That's not me. I'm going to continue dating young is because that's what I like, that's what I attract, and that's been the story of my life. So now that we're done with that rant, I would say, I think, as I mentioned before, when you get into a relationship, right, it takes a little bit out of you because now you're trying to do a lot of things to keep her happy, make her happy. And one thing I've learned in life is you can never keep a woman happy. You can never keep a woman happy. You can give them the world. You will never keep her happy. She's going to get bored. She's going to find someone else. And she's going to kind of almost resent you for giving her the relationship. She's going to kind of resent you because you're not familiar, right? She's going to resent you because she knows what to expect and there's no mystery about you. And this is all trial testimonial, folks. I have lived, breathed, I've done this, right? Many times over. The cycle, it just never fails. In fact, the more distance you are and the less you see each other, seems to be better. In fact, I would also stretch it and say, you should be seeing multiple women while you're dating her and tell her this. And this is what I didn't do. So the long and short of why we broke up is the signs were there, right? After Valentine's, I have a video on that. We spent Valentine's and her birthday falls like back to back. I think her birthday is on the 13th, Valentine's on the 14th. Yep. And my dog also turned 11, who's now having some health issues, and she's gonna live for now. But I celebrated both my dog's birthday and her birthday. Ran up a good tab. You can watch the video. Just type in Valentine's Day. So I've always been the provider in the relationship. To date, she hasn't paid. She has not. She doesn't need to pay for breakfast, brunch, dinner, nothing. I pay for all of this. I'm a provider in that sense, right? And I like doing it. It brings me peace. I'm not trying to buy her love. We genuinely had a connection, and she would call me my love and this and that. But I could tell, even leading up to Valentine's, we had a lavish New Year's Eve. You can see that video at the Bellagio, Las Vegas, fountains overlooking the water, and Paris, Las Vegas. Damn, I can't believe I did all that. That's the beauty of sharing time and space with someone and then moving on, appreciating the good times and remembering all of this. And so after New Year's Eve was over, just like anything, right? Cuffing season's over, as they say. When you hit January, February, we start sort of getting this itch. And I was feeling it too, that damn, where's this gonna go? And I never said this. I never brought this up with her. Because as a man, you never ask a woman where is this gonna go, unless you really want to marry her, and you want to start a family, and kids are your priority. None of this is my priority. It's not a secret. I own my life. I own who I am. Marriage is not for me. That's not a secret. Marriage is not for a lot of people, but they still do it anyway. We've had this discussion with my girlfriend, and I have had this discussion already previously. So she knows where I stand, and honestly, she doesn't want to get married either. She likes the freedom. The difference here is biology, right? They have a biological clock, as they say, and I've been reminded by this many of my girlfriends. So don't take this as a dig, woman and girls. I love you all. I love every single one of you all. But I've been reminded, and it's really true, that the biological clock doesn't lie. She turned 29. That's my longest pause in this video. That's what happened. She just turned 29. And I just realized that she has less than 1 year before she turns 30. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with all of the above here. But it's a magical space at age 28, 29, 30, when they start really locking in and trying to figure out their options. And if it's not you, it's got to be someone else. So let me just say this quickly. I'd rather be with someone else. I'm okay with it. I know I'm not selfish. No, I'm not a misogynist. Some of you don't even know what a definition of a misogynist is, so you better look that up. I love women. I love women, right? And especially fit, feminine women. And she was somewhat fit, but she was more feminine, which is why I decided to date her. She was really friendly, which is why I dated her. She was cute, right? But some factors that drove me into my decision here is that you never want to be the person chasing her. So admittedly, I was kind of addicted to her in that sense, but not obsessed, just addicted in a good way. But there were some qualities, a lot of qualities in her that I don't see in American women, right? It's hard. Like, she wasn't masculine, she wasn't loudmouthy. She had a feisty Latina personality, which is a perfect balance for my personality. Because I'm Indian. Us South Asians, East Asians, right? We know how to fight, like argue. We come from a very turmoil background, most of us, where arguments and big families and quarreling and egos and money and pride and all this jargon is just at our beckoning. This is our culture. And so when you put a Indian and a Latina girl together, a woman, especially with the age difference, there's going to be some clash, but there's going to be a lot of chemistry. Because where I stand today, I'm put together, like my physique, my mind, my body, my spirit. I've seen a lot, right? So I can let a lot go. Like, I pick and choose my battles, when to argue, when not to. And you realize as you get older as a man, you never argue with a woman. You never argue. You try to discuss logic, good luck with that. That's going to fall short. She's always right. She hates to admit she's wrong. And when I drop something that's a wisdom gem, right? she becomes quiet because there's no comeback. And there's no comeback is because I said it in a way where I'm non-confrontational. That's where some of the younger guys can probably use this advice is you can't be confrontational. If you cannot say it politely with class and choose your words and articulate what you think and why your position is you're on the right, or at least open to hearing her perspective. If you come off confrontational, it's already over. Because women are very, 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 very emotional. It's all about how they feel. All about how they feel. I don't care what you say to me. I am not the only guy in this space talking about this. This is 50, I'm nearly 50. I've seen a lot, and I think what I have to say, how I present, who I have become as a result, this is all of this is a 100% accurate. You're a man. You gotta have to hold composure. You gotta have to be composed. You're gonna have to be unmoved by her emotions, because one minute she can feel something, the next day she can feel something, the next second next hour she can feel it. She can be a completely different person. And I saw all of this in her in the last few months. Truth be told, we still stayed on dating apps. I think her goal, right? She's from Colombia, so there's some immigration matters at hand, if you know what I mean. Current climate, Trump is in office, some changes, right? So she's working on her paperwork. So some of the things here I've learned is never to hang on to a person and stay attached and be codependent. In that sense, codependency is a poison, is a bee, right? And I think I had some of that, but not really to the point where I feel some sort of way if I had somebody walked away. I'm at a better place now where this is just part of life. You have to, I've dealt with these emotions. I've dealt with so much worse, so many more, way worse heartbreaks, like tragic, like I'm talking about violent, not me. Like this is just, felt like the world was collapsing. Like you get the point, right? Like Titanic boat going under. So this is casual for me. Like, so you gotta let her go because I mean, I didn't even ask her. Where the decision, okay, so what happened? My dog was diagnosed with hiatal hernia and she's gonna be fine, but I've been taking her to the lab, the vet's getting multiple tests done, right, to rule out anything terminal. Thank God she's not going to be. And I'm gonna bring her in my video, in fact, later in one of my walks. But 2 weeks ago, she was my girlfriend was on her cycle, her period, right? And so typically when she's on a cycle, I try to avoid her. And she's very grouchy, cranky, as you ladies can attest to. Some of you all are just a very different person. But you know, we are supposed to have our fun time and bedroom time as soon as she gets off that. But the last couple of months, you know, sex started becoming a little far few in between, if you know what I mean. Like the pullback, the recoil, as they say, the recoil was very real. And I think we've had some issues on this topic before. Not I think we have. And she flat out told me that she doesn't have the drive and something's wrong with her. And I know there's something going on health-wise with her, which is why I've been very kind. I've been very understanding. Not once did I pressure her that we need to do it. This is a part of being an older man. You just step back and just relax, right? Because it's important, but I really was enjoying a companionship too. Like, I know I'm gonna get the sex. Like, that's not a problem. It's just how often we do it is a problem. Like, you're 27, 28, 29. Your drive should be like, you should be wanting it more than I am. But that's not the case with this one here. And I had to observe the patterns over time. She's a busser server, so when she's working at night, I'm sleeping. I don't know who she's around, and where she goes. We live separately. We see each other once or twice a month, if that. But this is Vegas. I've talked about this in other videos. When we do stay together, we spend 36 hours, 48 hours, right? 36 hours, more like it. We have our fun. We go out, tourists, bedroom time, intimacy, date. I date her, lavish meals. I give her a great lifestyle. But as spectacular as some of our dating life has been, the dark side of all of this is that I don't see her enough. And I personally would have liked to see her more and spend more time, because there's a dark side to her that I think I don't know. She knows a lot about me. When you get to this age, you're not focusing on the dark side with the woman and the games and the mindset and all of that. You're just simply being. I enjoyed her company. I loved being in her presence, right? Colombia, that accent. Um, we look great together, and but there was something there where the distance started kicking in, and the less frequency, not able to reach her when I text her, getting a reply hours later, right? Maybe in some cases a day or so later. But she's come around, like, don't get me wrong, and we've had our bedroom time. So, you can easily get thrown off and negated that, okay, well, I got some action, we're good, things are good, haha. I mean, come on, we know what it's like as a man to get some, right? Like, and we're feeling great. Forgive everything else. What'd you say, baby? What do you want? Where do you want to go? Right? What dress do you want? What restaurant you want to go? This is Vegas. Want to go rooftop? Let's go. Let's do that. But I just noticed the trend, right? There was a distance. There's a recoil, and she was concerned about my dog. She loves my dog. Not once did she said, "Let me come and visit." She texts. The last text I got from her after I gave her the update was, "Wow, I hope she's been better." Meaning, I hope her English is amazing. I love it, the way she communicates it. But really, what she was saying is, I hope she's well. I never responded. The text before that was, where it really got me. Not even angry, not even upset. That was like my spiritual, supernatural side, like my transformations that I'm experiencing in all of this life here, doing these videos, is that we were supposed to have our intimate time. Her period was over. She was supposed to come over. I was supposed to cook for her, which she loves. She skipped it. And we hadn't slept. We hadn't had sex for about 3 weeks since Valentine's Day. So, or at least a couple of days before that. And now we're almost breaking the month mark of not having sex. And I think it's a problem. Intimacy started becoming an issue, and the signs were already there. If I'm doing the work, if I'm pushing, and if I'm putting in all the effort, and I'm initiating, you're not doing jack-ish, that's a problem. So she skipped that and said, I think we should meet at Planet Hollywood. That's our best option. Literally on text. And I responded with, why do you think that's the best option? And then she said no, with a question mark, and she speaks like that, like Spanish, Colombian, no? This is true, no? Like, I get it. So I responded back calmly. I was like, no, baby. We went out Valentine's Day, your birthday. I ran up about 300 plus on us both. So it's better. I thought we had a plan. You're gonna come over, but that's all right. Take care of your job, right? She said she might have to work. Never got back to me that she would confirm that she was working that Saturday night or no. And I responded back, very nicely. I said, when you're free, when you know, let me know. And then, of course, I'd love for you to wear a nice dress for me and dress up. I'd love to see you. That's one thing happened is she wasn't making an effort to show up pretty, nicely dressed. I'm not asking for a whole lot, but she just looked like she was bumming it these last 6 months, and she got comfortable. And I think she started taking me for granted. She was used to being wined and dined and being paid for, as is with pretty much most women who wouldn't love that, especially at her age, right? But I'm saying that I don't mind doing all of that, okay? But you got to do your part. You got to be fresh. You got to be somewhat fit. You got to be feminine. And I think she was doing weed, because every time she opens a purse, I get the whiff of weed coming in. And so you can't be doing weed alone. Okay, you understand what I mean? It's very rare that you gotta be doing weed alone in Vegas, working night shifts. I don't know who's around her. She's always on a phone. I think she's getting a lot of text messages from other guys and on dating apps, right? And her reasoning was that Colombia, we are very friendly and this and that. I'm like, yeah, so are Indian people too. We have that too, but when we're together, you have to respect each other at the very least, right? I don't make it obvious I'm talking to other girls when I'm with you. Now, what you do with me is one thing. What you do outside is, but in front of me, you've sometimes slipped up flirting, right? You've sometimes slipped up where you're drunk and giving your phone to another guy to put in his Instagram. I didn't really cause a storm. I didn't really care. I'm like, hey, you're 27, 28, 29. It's cool, you know? Like, I know this is not a forever thing. So when I was there once, that's my wisdom, right? But also what kicked in is that if you're doing this in front of me, what are you doing behind me? Understand? You get the gist? So it was time. The relationship was time. It was. We were both. I was feeling that I was putting in way too much, and I was getting back. It's more than just sex. There's this, the time and everything that I mentioned, right? We're seeing less and less of each other, and the recoil, the pullback, is very real. So you have to let it go. So that's what I did. Is just I didn't fight. I didn't. The easiest breakup she can ever think of, and maybe she wanted it too. I'd be honest. I miss her, but I wanted it too. Somebody else has to deal with her. 30, 29, 30 is a very delicate age. You know, you're gonna start becoming a little bit more argumentative. Your scars and your baggage are going to show up, and I think she didn't want me to see that. Another man's gonna have to deal with it. Okay, I may continue this video again, part 2, but you get the gist. So now I'm back on the market. I'm doing more of this. My energy has improved. Big weight off my shoulders because I gave everything I had, and that's the key. Is if you gave everything you had, you got to smile that it happened, not that it's over, because you gave it the best. Okay, I gotta go restroom, folks. I gotta go pee. The water's kicking in. To the next video. Mamba out.